Thursday, December 8th. This is a pre-opening SPY video. There's still about an hour and a half to go before the open, so things can change. But for now, you can see after our small inside bar yesterday, the pre-market range right now is kind of hovering near the high of that bar. And if I look at it right here, although we started after hours a little bit lower, we did gap up overnight and we're kind of near the high end of the range. So for now, I'm going to kind of assume we'll be near the high end of that range. And if I zoom this out, I kind of had an option whether sometimes you have to use a little judgment. Do I want to put the pre-market low there, or do I want to put it here on the gap? And I've decided to put it kind of at this level right here, the gap up overnight, and use this range as my key levels, because what this means on the inside bar is if we break to the upside, initially our first target is here to fill that we have a little gap here between the low of this bar and the high of this bar that we might be filling in some inefficient pricing. So that'll be kind of a target area, and because it's an inside bar, and we'll just see if we do head up, do we get more momentum than that? But the other thing that could happen is we fail, and if we fail on a move up, let's say, and we move below the midpoint of the prior bar, that would be the kind of in line with these pre-market lows. That would be a failure and we'd continue lower. So again, on the weekly chart, I still have kind of a red outlook here, as we, kind of come with 2 more days in the week with a target down here. So I know there could be a failure at any time. And of course, if we break below this pre-market low, then we're going to immediately expect some of these targets to be taken out yesterday, well, the low from 2 days ago, and then this low down here. So we're just going to have to see where price action opens. But anytime I see a small bar like that inside bar, I kind of judge on any kind of move up what the targets might be. To me, it's just filling in this gap at the moment, and we'll see if momentum can build from there to really start turning the week around. But if we start down, in this case, we have those bigger picture weekly targets in play right now. So I'll go wherever price action leads us, but I'm suspecting we kind of move up a little bit today. The key will be how much momentum can kick in beyond this gap, and the key will also be, is there a failure? And the only way a failure will be, let's say we move up a little bit, we'd have to take out the intraday lows and then take out this pre-market low, and that would be the sign to get short. Other than that, you got to be maybe a little bit biased to the upside today. And when I look at maybe some stocks to trade, I thought I'd point this out real quickly. Like, this is a quarterly chart that I'm actually looking at on the S&P and various stocks, and I'm actually kind of comfortable that this is a bit of a green, even though, we've been red for almost a year. The way we're kind of forming a green bar here after taking out this low, I feel comfortable that the trend is a little bit up here at the moment. So, it wouldn't be bad to go long here on the daily chart on any move above the midpoint of the prior day, taking out the highs. But you have to look at the target. In this case, it's just a gap. When I kind of browse my watch list here for some other stocks that might be moving up, I go to the net change and I kind of sort that by what stocks are moving up the strongest. So I see a stock like Netflix moving up today. And again, I go right to the quarterly chart. I see that that's a nice green bar, so I'm comfortable we're on the long side. And then I see, on the daily chart, if we get a 2-up day, we could definitely be taking out, let's just say, in this case, it's not really a gap. In this case, we target, let's call it, just to show you how I move the lines. If we have a 2-up day today, then we're targeting that as a first target. And when I go to the pre-market action on Netflix, I could see, well, let's get rid of this bar because that was a little higher up. Any kind of up move should target this blue line. So I kind of watch, where pre-market action is, what some of the first targets are. That determines, then I can maybe, let's say we get a long signal or a buy in here on Netflix, I can scale out at that level and see if we move then to the next level higher. I kind of judge what's going on during the week. This is a weekly green bar that's only moved down to the halfway point of that bar. So it's definitely, what I like about that in the bigger picture is it's looking to, you would think after a big green bar like that, you'll extend a little higher at some point next week, and we haven't done that yet, or maybe we just barely took out that high. So there's definitely room, and this, I like this pattern here where we just kind of have a little bit of a bull flag and now we're starting up, so we really could get momentum back to the, the weekly high. So anyway, those are the types of things I look at. I browse the list. I see a stock like Meta is even, now here I see on the quarterly chart, we're trying to form a bit of a hammer bar, so it's not really a big uptrend. So I don't get as excited about that one compared to, let's just say, a stock like Boeing, which I know is definitely up on the quarterly chart here with a lot of pivot machine guns to head higher. And we had a little pullback on the daily chart. So again, this is a nice stock if we get a 2 up. But I could see here the target on this one, similar to the SPY, would be more into this gap area to start. So it would be kind of, there's a yellow line I just drew. So if we get an up opening, we should move into the low 180s. We're in the 170s. So, you can get a couple of points in here given the fact that any 2 up move today above the pre-market high should move into that gap. So I kind of look, and then I judge the weekly chart again. It's trying to have a bit of a reversal shooter bar, but we're not quite there yet. So, I could still play the upside given the big picture quarterly chart. So I look at that, and then even finally a stock like Tesla, which I know is not in an uptrend, I'm not as excited about on the long side. If I look at the Tesla quarterly chart, big picture, I see we're in a downtrend here. Nothing's really changed so far. Even the weekly chart's 2 down, daily chart's moving down. So if you look at the pre-market range, it's actually lower compared to other stocks that are moving higher. So I'm more inclined on a stock like Tesla to just look for opportunity to the short side, which has happened a couple of times this week. Some good opportunity. So this whole rally up here actually was a good opportunity to look for shorts once it rolled over. So anyway, that's kind of the way I kind of go to the big picture, kind of judge what's happening there. I go to my watch list. I see what stocks are moving for the day. And then, overall watch the pre-market range and determine right from the start, do we get kind of a 15-minute, start to the day up or down. So if I go back to the SPY, just to conclude, I'm going to watch this close. Let's go to the 1 minute chart. Yeah, we're hovering near the highs of that range. So let's see today if we get that, first move up, or is this going to be an immediate failure kind of above the high of that inside bar and then working down towards, the lows. That would be in line with getting short. But for now, maybe I'll have to try, look for some stocks moving up. I get that sense that today will be a little bit of an up, up market at the open, but you never know. So let's see how it opens.